virtual space changed everything, and we had to pivot and get there. And then it was more of a process, a drawn out process to figure out really where we need to land, from building out a studio to filming online to sending out, COVID, safe crews to film outside if need be. So a lot of different pivoting moves.
Yeah, and healthcare had a pivot too, and the way you're talking
Yeah.
is just like it happened the same way. Everything became virtual. Everything's either maybe at home or over the computer. And sometimes getting that assessment or getting anything with healthcare, you have to be able to connect with that other person and be able, it happens so rapidly. There was a little bit of telehealth prior to, COVID with people
Right.
like hard to reach areas like the middle of Montana. It's gonna be you got to telehealth, but with COVID, you definitely saw this big shift, and everyone's like, okay, what do we do? Oh, we need better internet. If I'm going to be seeing like 13 patients a day, I need to be able to be like on top of it. And you started talking about capturing people's attention and getting them like wrapped into what you guys were doing virtually. How did you guys do that?
It was a challenge. You have to drive into that message bucket and really find out, pull out those key components that you really want people to take home. Because then, a lot of times they were told, hit your 3 marks and then expand on those 3 marks. Well, it really came down to executives really tighten up that messaging. And one thing that really captured folks was dealing with the situation, really addressing the situation. And there was a lot of people wondering what's happening next, and specifically in each industry that we kind of help support from the messaging standpoint. So that was a component that people were attentive to. People needed to hear, where am I supposed to go now? What am I supposed to do? What's happening with our company? So there was a lot of big things that happened from a messaging standpoint. From are we going to keep people on? Are we ever going to go back to the office? Are we going to be working from home for a while? And then you have the customer facing component, which I'm imagine you're kind of referencing is engaging them. We try to make the presentation or the visual content as engaging, from great imagery to animated, graphics coming on screen, never just talking to a PowerPoint, never just having a PowerPoint slide on, having a VO. Like, we tried to always have a face, a talking head on screen, and having visuals to support what they were saying, and also making sure their message was concise and that it wasn't long-winded. So anytime that you can not just have just a talking head, which is great, obviously in your world, talking to a doctor is necessary, but we found that anytime you can bring some type of visual into to demonstrate what you're saying or to accent what you're saying, it really helped the audience continue on with engaging.